All right, so here is a look at the Treatlife, the light and ceiling fan smart dimmer switch. So pretty cool to be able to control the light and the fan independently here on schedule, which is kind of what I want to be able to do here. Is one of my children likes to have the fan on going to bed and then have it turned off a little bit later so it's not on through the night, so I can set that up on a schedule. And right now we only had a single switch there in the room, so we did not have independent control of the fan and light, so you kind of had to pull the cord down on the little doodad. In case you want to look at the box at all, there's the product code there. Let me see if I can get that to focus a little better. All right. Product specs, all that. So I have a lot of the Treatlife devices. First time trying the ceiling fan switch here. So inside we have the user manual, of course, and this I'm going to want to read through pretty carefully and would recommend you do the same, because tying into electrical power, you want to be careful. All the instructions I've had from Treatlife in the past have been very good, little small print, but not as small as I've seen on some product info. So with my reading glasses, not a problem. So their setup is usually pretty easy. A little thank you card, and okay, so we have labels to put in the box for that. So those are good. Comes with wired nuts, mounting screws, and then of course the all-important switch itself. A nice face plate here, and instructions on here. They're going to peel off, I presume, when I put that on. So there we go. I'll leave that on there for now. Of course, warning, be careful, know what you're doing. So if you aren't real good with the electrical work, I'm going to be careful. The one thing Treatlife always mentions is you do need the neutral wire in your box. So we'll look at that during the install time, but you do need to have a neutral. So if your house is really, the wiring is really old, then you're going to have a problem and not be able to use this. But that is a look at what's in the box, and let me go and get started on the install. All right, so first thing I need to do here to switch over my ceiling fan from the old way I had it is, you can see the red wire, that's the extra wire going into my box down there, is not connected to anything. The blue wire, per the manufacturer, is the light. One of the black wires here goes down to the fan. So in order to have this working the way I used to, the fan and the light were on the same, coming from the hot. Therefore one switch controlled both, and then use the chains on the light to turn fan and light and all of that. So what I'm going to do is switch the blue wire to the red, and that will allow us to have independent control of the fan and the light, which is obviously required for the smart switch to work properly. Alright, so now I have the red supply from the box connected to the blue, which will be the light fixture in the ceiling fan, and only the hot from the box, the black, connected to the fan wire from the ceiling fan. So now I can wire in the switch. Alright, so here is a look at my existing outlet box. It's kind of a double switch here, so makes it a little more complex. I pulled the other switch out to kind of give some working room here. So I labeled what we have. So unused presently was that red wire. That's going to go to the lights up there, so that's why it wasn't used, because it was connecting the light and the fan both to the same switch here. So obviously the plain copper wire here is the ground. Let me try to focus here for you. So I figured out which is the fan going up to the switch, and that's because I can see up there where the red and all goes in. So that's the line going up to the fan. So therefore the black here is the line in the box, and I have a common neutral that was connected for both switches, for both outlets here in the junction box. So the neutral for the new smart switch will just tie in there. So then it's a matter of connecting the switches ground to here, the line here, here's my fan load, and the lighting load there. So that should be a pretty easy connection. So let me wire that up and show it when it's done. All right, so here is the smart switch connected in. So obviously connecting the green to the ground here, the exposed copper. The yellow is connected to the lighting, the wire going up to the light of the, the fan of the ceiling fan. The red coming out of here goes to the lighting, the wire up there, lighting load up there in the ceiling fan, and the black is tied, of course, to the line, the hot coming into the junction box, and wired the white from the smart switch into my common neutral that comes into the junction box and was tied to both switches there. So sorry, it's a little out of focus, but hopefully that sort of shows that. So let me mount it in there and then work on connecting it to the app. All right, so now I'm going to try to pair the app, and sorry for the look here. I've got to get a new faceplate kind of thing because I've got a mix of switches here, but I turned power back on to the outlet junction box here and waited a little while. So the red light in here had been blinking, so I'm going to hold this for 5 seconds and it should reset and tell it to go back to Wi-Fi pairing mode, and I could pull this tape stuff off here at some point. But anyway, I'm using the Treatlife app and not the Treatlife app. This is their older one, and I'm sticking with it because it actually allows for Siri shortcuts, and the Treatlife app does not currently. But so I need to add the device here, and I'm supposed to be looking for ceiling light Wi-Fi. That looks like what I got. Next, since it already knows my Wi-Fi, it is already blinking. So, oh yeah, all right, so I'm supposed to confirm that, silly me. All right, so here we go, adding the device. Okay. It does only work on a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection, and obviously it knew my Wi-Fi because I already have a bunch of Treatlife devices on there. So here we go, adding, and this is the way it usually kind of runs. It's pretty slow through like 25%, and then all of a sudden done. So there we go. All right, so you can edit the name of it here. So I'm going to call it Kids Ceiling Fan. Make it make sense. All right, so here we go, done. All right, so I'm going to try to shoot this. I don't know how this will work, but we will see. So very basic starting out. Let's see if I can just turn the light on and off. And okay, that would be a win. So we have the fan going. I could hear a little click over there. I'll have to experiment with because the fan itself has a switch up there to control speed, which was probably set on medium. So I'm not sure how well the speed control is going to work here with that, but we will see. It might be speeding up a little bit here, so we'll experiment with that. Let's see, does it have a fourth? Okay. All right, so I guess it is moving faster, I think. So let's drop that down to 1 and confirm that slows down. Indeed, yes, it does appear to be slowing down. In the meantime, I'll turn the light on and, oh yeah, that dimmed pretty smoothly. Knowing how Treatlife other devices work with the dimmer, there's a dimming mode you can mess with if you have LEDs. I've found with some of my LEDs I have to put on a different dimming mode to keep them from blinking and all that, or flickering flickering. And then you can change the dimming range and all that. This is their incandescent bulbs, so plain dimming works there. Their app, I'm assuming, is going to work the same way with other sort of switches, as you can put timers on here, right here, and put a countdown. So I could turn, which I guess you can't really read here, but it says light countdown and fan countdown. So we could turn the light off after a certain period of time, or same thing like the fan, which will be handy. Part of the reason I got it is to have it run for, say, an hour to cool the room and then sort of turn off once kids are asleep. So, and we should be able to tie that into smart programs. So let me look at that here in a minute. All right, before I got into the programming there for timers and schedule and stuff like that, I did come back, which I should have done here, to the main screen here for the Treatlife app. So I have the ability to turn the fan on and off directly from here, and change the speed so I can turn the light on, off, and change the brightness, which right now it's off, but so I can, oops, sorry, drifted off screen. All right, so I can control from here without having to necessarily go into the screen here, and it should allow you to do that on the at least the iOS. There's a widget to make it appear on your home screen, so you don't even have to come into the app to do that. So those functions are available right there, so you don't have to drill into that. All right, so I wanted to look at setting up some tap to run and Siri control here for the smart ceiling fan switch. So from the Treatlife app on the smart screen here, I'm not going to worry about automation. I don't really need the lights or fan to come on automatically, although if you sort of want to do that, you could set a time and have the fan start coming on to cool the room or something like that. That might be kind of handy. But from tap to run, I'm going to add a new tap to run. So I'm going to do the kids' ceiling fan, and let's just work on the light for now. So turn the light on, and I'm going to just set this for brightness all the way up. Next, tap to run ceiling fan. All right, so now what I'm going to do is give it a friendlier name so that I can easily add it to Siri. So I'm going to say kids room light bright, because that just sort of makes sense to me. All right, so I'm going to repeat that for tap to run. I'm going to do the kids room. I'm going to do the light off. Next. And you can add multiple tasks. So if you had multiple switches in different rooms and you want to combine them together, you could do that. So I'm going to say kids room lights off. Sorry, I'm going to clear my throat a little bit there. And do another one for a dim. So I'm going to turn the light on and turn the brightness to, let's go with like 30%. So I will call this Kids Room Light. It was trying to help me. Call it dim. And then let's do ones for the fan. So we'll call, let's see, run the same room. So we'll put the fan on. And I could probably do another one for the speed, but I'm just gonna turn it on and off and assume it will go to the previous speed that we had. So kids room fan on. Save, and you can change colors and things like that, but I'm not gonna mess with that for the moment. Fan off. Next. Kids room fan off. Okay, so that should be all the chapter runs that I need. Then I can click the Add to Siri button, and this is the reason I'm using the Treatlife app. Is the new Treatlife app does not yet have the Siri integration in there. So I'm going to just keep adding all of these. And that's why I named them the way it is, so I can just have it speak the name of the what I just created. So that should do that. So let me reorient the camera here and then test Siri out. All right, so let me do some testing of my Siri shortcuts here, see if it works. So, hey Siri, kids room light bright.
Okay, done.
Hey Siri, kids room light dim.
Okay, done.
Hey Siri, kids room light off.
Okay, done.
Hey Siri, kids room fan on.
Okay, done.
Hey Siri, kids room fan off.
Okay, done.
All right, so I would call that a great success. All right, I hope this works. Sorry, the image over there is jiggling a little bit, but my best way to show you this manual control of the switch and show that it's actually working, because that's kind of important. So let's start with the fan. So turn that on. And I believe we left that on the slowest sort of setting. So what you can do is double tap, and then you can control the speed there. And I see it speeding up. So let me double tap and try to bring that down there and see if it slows down as we go here. So I'll let that run, and we'll play with the light for a minute here. So there's the light on, and you can double tap that and bring it up and down on the dimmer, or you can also hold if you want to go smoother with the dimming there. And then obviously turn it off, and looks like the ceiling fan has slowed down to the slower setting like I had it. So we'll turn that off and let that turn off and wind down a little bit. Meanwhile, I believe if you just hit the, all right, the dimmer doesn't do anything unless you're in here. So with the light on, I believe it will default to brightening and dimming without hitting the double tap. But your double tap on the fan is the only way to go into that. So there we go, lights on, the ceiling fan's off, so we can turn that back off manually. So I hope this was a helpful look at the Treatlife Smart Ceiling Fan Switch. Very easy to install, assuming you have the correct wiring, the right Wi-Fi. It pairs quickly and works properly there. and think the app works great if you're using the Apple with Siri. I'm not sure about Alexa and anything else there. This is just how I control lights here, just with Siri, and sometimes put things on timers or lights on at dusk and things like that. I might consider that here for the fan. But very pleased, just like all the other Treatlife products that I have. Works just the way it says. The instructions were good. Hope this was a helpful look for you, and hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.